Hello everyone, I am Dica Acharya.
I'm Choki Wangmo Sherpa and we are in our final year. So today we are going to present
on 11th 5-year plan of Bhutan from 2013 to 2018.
So let us start.
Okay.
So let's start with the introduction of 11th 5-year plan. In the introduction components, we included expenditure, budget allocation, target growth rate and actual growth rate. So to start with, the total expenditure of 11th 5-year plan was 247,869.89 million, and the budget allocated for the plan was just 223,657 million. So you can see here that the expenditure is more than the actual budget allocated for the plan. So when we did the research for this situation, like expenditure being more than actual budget allocated, we could find that maybe it is because of unexpected economic fluctuations such as inflation and all, and another reason could be project delays, and last reason that we could find is that cost overruns. Maybe government thought that the certain amount of budget will make the project successful, but then when they actually implemented the project and implemented the plan and the project started, that then the actual cost was higher than what they have predicted. So this could be the reason for expenditure being more than what the actual budget allocation. And target growth rate of 11th 5-year plan was 10%. They targeted for 10%, but then actual growth rate was just 5.59%, maybe just more than half of what they estimated or targeted. So while talking about the expenditure of 11th 5-year plan, so I'll talk, we already talked about the total expenditure, but let's talk in details. So expenditure of 11th 5-year plan, we got a table where object code wise expenditure of 11th 5-year plan was given, and you can see they also gave year wise, like 2013 to 2014, but let's talk in directly to the total. So current expenditure of 11th 5-year plan was 115,178.09 million, and the capital expenditure was 108,594.09 million, and lending expenditure was 1,054.85 million, and repayment, it was highest among all, 23,042.87 million. So the total expenditure, as said in above slide, it was 247,869.89 million.
Moving on, now I'll be presenting you all with the objectives of 11th 5-year plan. The main objective of 11th 5-year plan was self-reliance and inclusive green socio-economic development. In this main objective, there were three components, such as number 1, self-reliance, which was mainly for ability to meet all the national development needs as articulated through 5-year plans by 2020. Number 2, inclusive development refers to reducing poverty and inequality by enhancing standard of living and the quality of life of the most vulnerable section of the society. Number 3, green socio-economic development refers to environmental conservation in Bhutan.
Let's talk about the challenges of 11th 5-year plan. We could find three challenges of 11th 5-year plan. Number 1 is setting targets and indicators. There's a lack of systematic and scientific method for setting targets and key performance indicators in 11th 5-year plan. And another one is inadequate monitoring and evaluation. And here under this, absence of annual review and failure to conduct a final assessment of 11th 5-year plan. We see this as a challenge. And another one, third one, is data quality and reporting. There was incomplete data and fault assessment, like achievement of some of KPIs were not captured due to lack of data. And to prove this statement, the annual average GDP growth rate they targeted was 10%, but they could only achieve almost 5.5%, which is just maybe we can say half or little more than half of what they have targeted. And they also and the percentage of domestic financing to total expenditure, which was targeted over 85%, was achieved only 62%. And similarly, income poverty, which was targeted to be reduced to less than 5.2%, but they could reduce only to 8.2%.
Now, I'll be presenting you all with significant achievements of 11th 5-year plan. The first significant achievement of 11th 5-year plan was to do with NKRAS, which stands for the National Key Results Areas. If you all take a glance at this table, the source of the table is from ministries, agencies, GPMD and GNHC. It is mainly to do with the first significant achievement, which is the Sustainable Development Initiatives. According to this table, the two NKRS was fully achieved, that were NKRS 10 and NKRS 16. NKR 10 is mainly for improved disaster reliance and management mainstreamed, and NKRA 16 is to do with needs of vulnerable group addressed. These were fully achieved, and rest of the 14 NKRS were partially achieved during the 11th 5-year plan. 59% of the poverty reduction and MDG plus achieved, which means the poverty rate fell from 12% in 2012 to 8.2% in 2017. The second significant achievements of 11th 5-year plan was based on education, whereby 4 colleges and 63 schools were constructed. And number 2, literacy rate improved by 71.4%. The third significant achievement of 11th 5-year plan was based on health. So, in the health sector, the number of health officials were increased and infant mortality rate reduced by 15.1%. The fourth major achievement of 11th 5-year plan was based on economic growth, whereby the revenue generation was 5.9% from hydropower increased, which was nil from 15.66 billion in 2013 to nil from 18.58 billion in 2017. And the last significant achievement of 11th 5-year plan was based on infrastructure development, which includes 5,362.79 kilometers are farm roads built and 1,450.075 kilometers were maintained. And number 2, 180 GC roads were blacktopped. 1,987 kilometers of electric fencing were installed. Mining sector increased from nil from 238.62 million in 2013 to nil from 329.47 million in 2017. And finally, 29 new bridges were built.
So after finding few challenges of 11th 5-year plan, so we want to recommend few things or make the recommendation, such as develop a systematic and scientific method for setting targets and key performance indicators. Another one is implement regular monitoring and evaluating processes, including annual reviews and final assessment, or to track the progress efficiently. And another recommendation is improve data quality and reporting.
Now, I'll be presenting on notable development and policies targeted in 11th 5-year plan. So the first one is economic diversification. In this, there are various policies being targeted, such as reducing hydropower reliance, promote tourism, promote agriculture, and promote manufacturing and services. Number 2 includes infrastructure development. In this, there are various policies being targeted such as invest in roads, invest in telecom, and electrification for enhanced connectivity. Number 3 includes poverty reduction. In this case, the notable development and policies were targeted mainly for providing basic services, education, and health services for the vulnerable population. Number 4 includes education and human resource. It was mainly targeted for prioritizing education and vocational training for skilled workforce. Number 5 includes environmental conservation, which was mainly targeted for protecting biodiversity, promoting renewables, and mitigating climate change. Number 6 includes governance strengthening. It is mainly targeted for enhancing transparency, accountability, and improve service delivery. So the last notable development and policies targeted in 11th 5-year plan was regarding tourism promotion. In this case, it was targeted mainly to promote Bhutan as unique destination and ensure sustainable practices.
So let's talk about notable development and policy achieved in 11th 5-year plan. So we have subdivided the achievements into different fields such as economic diversification, infrastructure development, education and human resources, environmental conservation, government strengthening, and tourism promotion. So let's talk about economic diversification. Under economic diversification, there was achievement in the field of agriculture sector, and they also promoted the tourism, and there was also improvement in manufacturing sector. So infrastructure development, they invested in the construction of roads, and they also invested in the construction of to improve the telecommunication. And education and human resources, they prioritize education, healthcare for vulnerable population, and they also provided the basic services. Under the environmental conservation, they implemented various policies in order to mitigate climate change. And for government strengthening, they enhanced transparency and accountability by implementing national anti-corruption strategy. Lastly, to promote tourism, they promote Bhutan as a unique destination and ensure sustainable practice.
Attention everyone, hands up, hands up! To conclude,
the major target of 11th 5-year plan was self-reliant and inclusive green socio-economic development.
So the major achievements of 11th 5-year plan was sustainable development initiatives, infrastructure development, improvement education sector, health sector, and economic growth.
So this is the end of our presentation.
Thank you for watching.